Hi, this is Chris from IELTS 360. In this video, we're going to look at Cambridge IELTS 10, Test 2, Reading Passage 2, and check the answers for the questions. So we'll begin with question 14, and we see that it's in paragraph A. That term domestic background comes up with the phrase home, educational provision, also the reference to parents and the home. That's the key synonym here, that home and domestic are connected. 15, we saw that we're looking for lost and too much guidance. This is in paragraph D. We see that conversely, teachers can have a direct tendency to over-direct, and this can diminish. Diminish would be in reference to loss. They're gifted predators learning autonomy. We also see that too much dependence would be suggested maybe as guidance again, and that risk of loss. So those two synonyms together here. Question 16, we saw in paragraph F that there's a reference to fear. Fear and anxiety are similar in a concept. Not all anxiety is fear, but okay, sure. It's IELTS and they're stupid synonyms. Limiting the development could be understood as being damaging as well in this case. Now, 17, we see techniques in socially disadvantaged children. Now, this one's pretty tricky. It's in paragraph D again, which we've already seen an answer for. That was at the beginning of the paragraph. This one's towards the end. The reference here is there's quite a few new methods. So methods and techniques are same things. And that we see that these are useful with children from deprived areas. So this term deprived area, an area that's deprived has less economic and social opportunities. That makes them disadvantaged individuals. 18, we see that we're looking for less time and more accurate work. For the statement of the person, this comes from paragraph C with Shore and Konevsky. We see that they learn more quickly and we can shorten the practice. So shorten would be less time, and that there are fewer errors. Less errors means more accurate work. Number 19, we were looking for the person who talked about self-reliance for reaching their goals. The answer here is Simonton, which is in paragraph E. We see that there is an independence, so independence and self-reliance, and reaching the highest levels of expertise. We have to kind of infer here that that's their goal, which if you're gifted, then that probably is your goal. For number 20, we see, again, we're looking for the person who talked about channeling their feelings. We see this in Bocart's in paragraph F. So they mention that they can harness these emotional forces. So the word harness here and channel are synonyms. Both of these really are synonyms for directing and controlling it. And emotions and feelings obviously being synonymous. Finally, 21. So who talked about the support of close relatives? This is Friedman in paragraph A. It's actually pretty much in the same place as we saw the other paragraph A reference of the family. Again, we see parents, that's family. The fact that we saw that in both paragraphs should hopefully made this easier to find. Then 22, where do they talk about how much they know about their subject? This is Elshut in paragraph E. And what she says is they know a great deal, which is meant to be a synonym for considerable amount. And their about a specific domain. So a domain is like a region normally when we think of this word, but we use it sometimes to talk about a field, a subject, and so that's why that's being used as a synonym in this case. Finally, we're going to look at complete the sentences below. We're looking for this gap where they're talking about IQ and home. It's again in the same area we found in a paragraph A where we saw other information. It's all the same sentence. So we see activities in homes with their parents, their IQ. All of that is telling us this is where the answer is. It's kind of rare that they put 3 questions in what amounts to the same 2 sentences, but it's not the first or the last time you're going to see it. So don't be surprised when you have questions, when you're going to have repetitive questions going through the passage again and again, that you might go to the same area several times. For the next question, this was the average students of the average ability needing more direction. What are they missing? The term that we're looking for is internal regulation or self-regulation. It's in paragraph B in this sentence here. More average ability, that's exact same. Direction and regulation here is what we're looking for, and also the word lack, meaning do not have. The fact that we can use both internal regulation and self-regulation is okay because they mean the same thing even though they're in different sentences. So they would accept both of them in this case. For metacognition, we saw that in paragraph B again, they mention emotional awareness being developed. Now the key here is they mention several strategies. Strategies of planning, monitoring, evaluation, and choice of what to learn. Those are all different learning strategies. It would actually be very hard to choose one of those over the other because there's no indication of which one. It's this next sentence, emotional awareness is also part of metacognition, also as well as is what we should be highlighting here. And so that is why we need to be choosing emotional awareness as our answer. Final one, teachers who rely on what's known as something. Got impressive grades. This is in paragraph D, where again, we already saw 2 answers. The term was spoon feeding. It's towards the beginning of the paragraph, and it says, teachers have a tendency to over-direct, and spoon feeding can produce extremely high examination results. We have 2 terms here that could fit the space. Both over-direct and spoon feeding, they're both in quotations, which means that this is a term that's going to kind of be that they're defining what somebody's doing by using it. It's known as this. It's known as over-directing. It's known as spoon-feeding. We choose the second one because examination results would be grades, impressive would be high. So, just to quickly finish this off, here are the key synonyms that I would have highlighted as a result of having gone through this passage. Do I need to know all of these words? Maybe not, but these are all pretty common terms that you might see in a similar situation, and so adding them to your vocabulary practice list might not be a bad idea.